Don't get sexual with the camera.
My bad.
Sorry, dude.
Well, you're right.
All right, Friends of Photoboy, episode 2.
It's me.
Devin
Hey.
of Lazy Haze somewhat fame.
I can't remember that.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No, that's all good. I'm glad we finally got here.
What a journey. What time is it?
It's 11:50.
Yeah, we're supposed to do this at 9 o'clock. A lot of prep.
A lot of me not knowing what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll just send the invoice.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Cheers for that.
Yeah.
No, we had a mission to get this started. I forgot everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. Tripods.
Everything.
Yeah.
Tripods, cards needed, erasing. We walked back to my house. We had fun though.
We did. I actually do enjoy spending a bit of time with you, mate.
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
that's
fun.
nice. Is that water satisfactory? Are you?
I'll try it.
That's a horrible noise.
Pretty good.
How you been, mate?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Busy. Good.
New
Enjoying
song
it.
out?
New songs out. Personal.
How's that?
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool having another song in the discography. And
It's a third single now.
third single, a bit different to the first two.
Yeah.
But I think,
They all have been.
yeah, I think like when we haven't planned it, but every time we do a release or do a new song, it's slightly different than the bottom. I mean, not the bottom, but the previous one
That's good.
in terms of genre almost.
Yeah.
Which is good, especially if like, I feel if you're trying to find your feet as a band, it's good to sort of broaden your horizons on
Especially early.
different songs and
Yeah.
different styles. So we're still trying to find our sound, and yeah, we're having a lot of fun at the moment. So.
I can see that. It's I mean, because when did we meet? It was only a few months ago now.
Yeah, maybe 2 months ago. Where was it?
Rosemount.
That's right, for the Pretty Ugly show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You came a fanboyed.
I sort of did. I was a fan of Photoboy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now you're a friend of Photoboy.
There we go.
I like
It sort of
that.
works, doesn't it?
It's nice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
A bit croaky today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big night last night.
No, I've just been smoking cigarettes.
Oh, wow.
Too much.
Yeah, you need to stop that.
Yeah, I do.
I was going to pull you aside earlier, but now
Wait.
we're on the potty. I'm going to hold you accountable. You hear me?
Yeah, no more. If you see me smoking a cigarette, please. You didn't.
I'll tell.
Tell me
I'll
off.
tell.
Tell me off.
Yeah.
God, I had a mind blank. Sorry, it's been so stressful setting all this up.
It
I got
has.
to the point where I was like, I set it up and I went, oh, I just can't be fucked. I just can't be fucked.
You just force it and you just do it.
Yeah, no, but we're feeling good.
Yeah.
We're feeling good. So give us a little backstory about the band, because you guys are relatively new, only probably 1 year old now, is it?
Yeah, about
Just
a year and a
over.
half.
Yep.
We started, our first show was April 2020, 2023.
Yep.
Was it? Does that sound right?
I don't know.
I think so.
You're the one telling the story here. This is your
Yeah,
band.
we've almost been a band for 2 years. That sounds right. If it's wrong, whatever. But Cohen and I actually met at like a 21st birthday party. And we're like, hey, let's jam. Cohen had just left the band, and I was sort of at a point in my life where I was sort of not sure what I wanted to do, sort of had a few things going on, and the music thing came at a freaking perfect time, because instead of like worrying about all the other shit going on, I was able to like focus all my attention to one thing. And Cohen was in a similar spot as well, so we sort of helped each other out of the hole. And yeah, we started jamming, wrote a few songs, and then probably by our second jam, we're like, oh, let's go to Indie Bar.
Yep.
And we signed up for an open mic without a band,
Yep.
and so we had 2 weeks to find a band.
Was that the plug and plays, or was it
Yeah,
actual?
Thursday
cool.
night plug and plays, which are perfect if you're a new band. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the perfect way to.
Those are such good nights, because the new bands get a little bit of practice, but then you get established bands that just come in and play it,
Yeah, I think
and it's really cool. It's a fun, diverse night.
most of the bands that we know and that we get along really well with has been met through those
Yeah.
shows. Not that we play heaps of them, but through, you know, meeting bands, or I quite often will go on a Thursday night, and if I really like the band, I'll go backstage, introduce myself. That's how I found bands like Hazel and who else? Nude Harbour. They're a fresh band coming up through the ranks. Out Front. There's a few bands there that we've sort of gone, hey, we really like you guys and your music's sick.
There was that's the thing I love about Thursdays is you just go, you watch, and you just find someone new. There was one that I saw, I think we were there a couple of weeks ago, Sun After
Dusk.
God, they were good.
They're sick, eh?
So sick.
Super cool. And they're really young.
Yeah.
Like super young.
They were just heavy and like it was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the sick thing. So you meet bands like that, and then like especially while recording this EP that's coming out later this month, we sort of saw these new bands and were like, what would we have liked when we were first starting?
Yeah.
So we invited like 3 or 4 bands throughout our sort of recording process to come and hang out. Not to be like, oh, hey, look at us, but to sort of show them what it's like to get a song recorded or that sort of process. Because I think when we were starting, it's a massive guessing game, especially in this industry.
Yeah. Well, it all seems daunting until you see how it goes.
Yeah.
So for you to do that and be like, for bands that haven't been into a recording studio, to just be like, hey, just come check it out and hang out. Yeah. And you guys are all very accommodating people, so it makes sense, you know. Like it'd be fun to have that vibe in there for you guys as
100%.
well. Yeah.
I think for me it's like if you're successful at something but you're by yourself, it's nowhere near as fun and with like unless you've got other people with you.
Yeah.
So a little bit of our sort of thinking in the scene now is sort of who do we like, whose sounds are really cool, like how can we work together and sort of succeed all together, because at the end of the day, like eventually when we tour, we want to be touring with like our best mates with quality music on top of that as well. It's sort of like the friendship comes first, I guess, for me. We haven't toured yet, but that's sort of my thinking. But yeah, we played a few open mics as a band. We found my younger brother, Ashy, who is the biggest legend and the best drummer ever. Yeah. And it's pretty special sharing the stage with him.
It's been cool watching that connection that you guys have, especially when you're playing on stage. You guys are interacting with each other and you're almost just looking at each other and smiling, being like, how good is this?
Yeah. I mean, every show we play, we genuinely can't believe that we're doing it.
Yeah. And I see that as well when you get off stage. You guys, every time you get off stage, no matter where you play, you guys are just buzzing. Like you've got this gratitude, like, this is amazing. You know, how cool is this that we get to do this? And it's such a refreshing thing to see. It's also been, I think, I mean, I've only known you guys for a couple months now, but I don't know if you've noticed this as well, but Ash has just come out of his shell.
Big time.
It's like, even in the last 2 months, like he's loving it.
Yeah, his confidence has gone through the roof, which is like, as an older brother growing up with him, like he's always, I've always been loud. I was born loud as hell. Like, I've never really been shy, but Ashy, probably up until this year, was always really, really shy and sort of second guessed himself a little bit, which maybe comes with being a little brother sometimes. And what's been really cool is seeing him like just absolutely own his space. There's a section in our shows at the end where we just sort of like, we all stop and he just goes off for as long as he wants. That's his part.
I've noticed that.
That's important for us to
you see the
give
days
him that
where
spot.
he's vibing and he's going faster and longer. It's just absolutely smack. Like I was watching the footage of it the other day from, I think, Gage Roads. And I was watching the footage back and I was like, I can't believe how quick
I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it.
I don't know what he's doing, but it sounds and looks cool.
Oh, it's so sick. Yeah.
And
I think the special thing as well is like, like we're growing up together. We're all both in bands and doing our own thing.
So did you guys come from a musical family, obviously?
Yeah, like
what's the story there?
So I grew up in the church.
Yep.
My dad was like a music pastor at a church, and he's done music ever since he was like young throughout
Yep.
school and all that. And then as we were growing up, we always had guitars in the house, and I think the best thing my parents could have ever done was not pressure us to do music.
Yep.
And because I think a lot of parents can easily put their kids in a box and go, hey, I was a musician, I want you to be a musician. Whereas dad sort of, whether he knew it or not, was sort of like teasing us and being like, I'm just going to leave like 4 guitars in this room and you'll find your way through it one way or another.
Yeah, yeah.
And so through that like non-pressure environment, and you know that our family's super like we're very open with each other and very, I don't know, I'm very lucky I've hit sort of the family lottery. That really helps when it comes to finding what you want to do. Like you can't make any wrong mistakes because you know no matter what you do, it's always backed up with support by mum and dad. So
Yeah.
they've been super instrumental. The house is always loud.
Yeah.
Like Ashley's always on the kit. We're always jamming out a new chord progression or idea. And not once have they sort of stormed in the room and been like, shut the fuck up. Like,
No, they are very,
like,
and I see that as well. They're very supportive parents. Like
they're at every show.
they're at every show.
It's like,
yeah, and they're proud as punch every single show as well, which they should be because you guys are doing really well at the moment. I think I first became aware of you guys from Pollen Fest earlier this year, and then I would say in the last few months it's just kind of been opportunity after opportunity. Is sort of you're sort of hitting milestones a lot quicker than usual, which is really cool to see. I mean, Old Town's on 50K now, which is unreal.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
8,000 monthlies now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is crazy. It's we're still like sort of pinching ourselves.
Yeah.
I think when you're in a band and you release a song, like when you do it and you're writing a song and you like performing it, I don't know about any other musos out there, but when you're performing and someone else is singing back your lyrics, it is just so, there's just something that can't be matched with that. And it's very like pinch yourself moment. At Gage Roads 2 weeks ago,
That was insane.
I couldn't,
Because
I couldn't believe it.
I've been to a lot of your shows now and I've shot, and I've noticed that as well, that like the crowd is getting a little bit louder every time. Like I think one of the first times I saw you guys and shot for you guys, there was just like a little pocket in the middle that was singing it back, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, the mates are all singing the song. They've obviously listened. And then it's sort of growing and growing. But then that Gage Road show, there was everyone.
Yeah.
Just this crowd of people just singing that song back. And, you know, the people that didn't know the lyrics, they were kind of listening, and then they'd jump in as they go in for it. And did you guys play a chorus again or something? At that show?
I think we just like repeated it. We just stopped.
Yeah.
We sort of let the crowd do it. Sort of like we hope to do it every show where like we can just stop and let the crowd sing.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, I mean, it's very corny, but
but
just standing back and not singing is like crazy, letting the crowd do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one we sort of, we did just an extra chorus to, I don't know, rev up the crowd. We're sort of making it up as we go.
It worked.
So
I saw that. I think I was side stage with the camcorder, and I saw you move to everyone, and I feel like you guys were like,
let's do one more.
One more.
Yeah.
And the crowd loved it. You know, it was cool. There was a lot of energy there. Like that was a really good gig.
Yeah. Well, I guess, for Old Town to do as well as it did is pretty special because it was written at a time where, like, Kerwin and I were both sort of a little lost.
Yeah.
My ex sort of broke up with me, and that was quite a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
So like music for a while was a bit of therapy.
Yeah.
And so writing Old Town wasn't to have a go at her or, you know, put anyone else's fault on the line, but it was more of this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And then now that I can look back at where I was, when I was writing the song, and then all these people are singing the lyrics that I wrote in that little patch.
Yeah.
Is such a crazy thing, because I don't know, like some people, I know I do when I'm writing music, it's not always to be like, oh, we're going to release this and then it's going to get big and then everyone's going to know it. Sometimes it's literally just like, I'm feeling shit today, I'm going to write a song about it, see where it goes. And then sometimes it just doesn't even see the light of day. But that was one song that we wrote and was like, yeah, we'll release it. And it's pretty crazy to see people seeing it back.
Yeah, no, it's
for sure.
It's been very. I mean, I love it. Like the first time I actually heard it was when you guys were playing, and I was like, this is cool. And same thing, there was just like a little patch of people singing it back. And then I jumped on Spotify and I was listening, and it's a little earworm. I think I listened to it a couple times before I was like,
sick.
I know these lyrics. This is sick. This is cool.
Yeah.
And I'll catch myself now just wandering around the house just singing it, and I'm like, such a good song. How do you go about the songwriting side of things? Is it just you, or do you pen stuff down and the whole band kind of interjects, or is it?
It's sort of different every song.
Yeah.
Old Town was was written on acoustics, and that was just Kerwin and I. We usually like jam a chord progression or like a beat with a chord progression and record it. And most of the time when we're writing a song, it's just a freestyle, and we sort of just go, okay, these are the verse chords, we go into this chorus at whatever moment, and then we'll play it, and I'll just sort of freestyle lyrics, and then if it works, when we're listening back to it, we can hear the melody, and but yeah, I mean, Stick Around, which was our second single, that's pretty much all Ashy.
Yeah.
Like he came to me one afternoon and was like, Dev, I've got this beat that I really want to chuck on a song. And I think it was like a week before, I had a chord progression that I was like mucking around with, and we sort of put them together, and like Ashy's beat in that is like makes the song.
Yeah, cool.
And that's also, you were saying about Ashy coming into his own. A year ago, Ashton wouldn't have approached me and been like, hey, like, I want to write a song with this beat.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
He was sort of, I don't know, maybe because he's the younger brother, or he's only 18 with a bunch of boys that are 23, 24.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're that young, it's sort of like, okay, well, like, I'm just happy to be here. I'll just do my thing. And that was another moment where I was like, holy shit, like,
coming out of his shell.
Yeah. And he has a bigger part in the band that he knows.
Yep.
Because, I don't know, like our chemistry as brothers and his ability are unmatched in the industry. I'm very biased because it's my brother and it's my band, but I wouldn't be in a band with any other drummer.
Yep.
Any other drummer. Like.
Did you guys grow up with a similar music taste, or were you listening to different things? Like what were the influences, do you think?
So Dad always had like Silverchair, Kings of Leon, Temper Trap, Coldplay. And then like, even if you're going to go back further, like Cold Chisel, Aussie Crawl. And then as we grew up, sort of listening to our own stuff, Sticky Fingers, Ocean Alley, Lime Cordiale, bands that Ashy and I would listen to together. And a lot of rap stuff, like even Kanye. I know he's a bit controversial, but Kanye stuff. Ashy and I literally spent 2 hours the other night listening to Tyler, the Creator's album back to front twice, just laying on his room floor, having chats while we listened to it. So like pausing, be like, holy shit, listen to that part. And I think like we can sort of draw parallels between all sorts of music into our own. Like, because those little moments that Tyler does especially are like moments where we could pause and like do a big hit or like a big chord change or something like that. So yeah, I think coincidentally listening to all different sorts of music, we've been able to find our sound through that and sort of mold all our different sounds together.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, that's been...
I like that. That's especially pinching things from other genres.
There's always one, eh?
Dear Scott, threatening me with a soccer ball.
Don't say all here.
Hi guys, welcome to Josh's podcast.
Do you invite him?
Hey,
Do you invite him?
he's my producer.
Oh, no way.
I've lost where we were now.
Where were we?
Influencers,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know my dad's a pretty big influence,
Yeah.
just in general. Like,
Did he make music or did he just play?
yeah, he made a bit of music, like, throughout all his, like, childhood and
Yeah.
early teens and late teens, early adulthood and stuff. I think definitely us being in a band has sparked his thing
Yeah.
to start doing it again. Like,
Yeah,
he was,
cool.
He was like, I'm going for a jam tomorrow. So he's jamming with a band at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're going to start playing some gigs, which is sick because I think that's what he always wanted to do.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And seeing his boys do it, sort of being like, well, if they can do it, what the fuck can I?
Yeah.
Why
And
not?
he's a very creative person as well, isn't he? Like
Yeah, he's done most of our graphics up until
Yeah.
you did the,
Sorry, Cars.
yeah, up until you did the personal cover.
Yep.
And yeah, he's done our merch and stuff like that. But yeah, again, our parents' support is probably the main reason why we're doing okay
Yep.
at the moment. So, yeah, crazy couple of months.
It has been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. And so what's so you've recorded the EP? That's
EP's done.
done.
Yeah.
And what was the process of that like? How many songs?
Um,
How long did it take? Where'd you do it?
So we record with Tristan Sturmer
Yep.
at Sumo Studios.
Yep.
And we couldn't recommend him enough. He's just absolute legend, real chill vibe, very like experimental and sort of keeps you on your toes. And a good producer should always, I don't know, try and push your song to the best it can be.
Yeah.
And he's been great for that. Like cutting down the length of a song or saying, oh, hey, I reckon we should do something here.
Yep.
And it's neither here nor there. Like, we can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
But him
But having someone that's
always doing that is perfect. So-
just questioning your thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Do you really want to?
Yeah, do you want to do that? man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it sound kind of shit?
Instead of just like, I'm just gonna record.
Yeah.
This is what you want. All
Exactly.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, so the EP is coming out late November.
Yep.
It'll have the 3 tracks that are out now, plus 2 more. And for us, it was just, I think we just wanted to get out a project out this year, finish it, and then so we can go into 2025 with a new project, sort of a fresher perspective.
Yep.
Sort of also like being like, boys, like 2024 was sick. We did a lot of first things. We played with some amazing bands.
Yep.
Like we've hit some milestones. Like
Now let's reset.
let's reset and do something bigger.
Yeah. Cool. It's a good mentality.
And I think, yeah, the boys are very optimistic. I've always pushed to be like very optimistic in our thinking. And
Yeah.
I think when we first started, we'd only written one song, but our goal was to play Falls 2025.
Yep.
I don't know if Falls are coming back, but it was such a cool little mantra. It's all written up in the jam room and
Yeah.
something that you just see and unconsciously think like, okay,
That's a very important part of a creative process or a goal setting process, I think, is having your goals written down where you can see them all the time.
yeah.
Because then it just lives in your brain constantly.
Yeah, goals are super important, for sure, because it gives you something to strive for.
And your subconscious, you might not know it, but your subconscious is working towards it.
Yeah,
You know, as you're doing your daily life, it's sitting there in the back, and it's
100%.
you know.
And I feel it's also really, really important that you are sort of picky with who you tell your goals to.
Yeah.
Because you can find, like, you tell your closest family and your closest friends and people like you, I tell you about my goals all the time.
Yeah.
And those people are always going to be like, you know what, man, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, what should we do now? Like, to achieve that goal, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I've had it before, I'd tell the wrong people and they just shut it down. Or they're very tall poppy syndrome. And you're like, sort of, like, your dreams should be very sacred to yourself, and you don't tell everybody everything about yourself. So you don't, what I feel is like you should be telling your goals to people that are going to sort of water your plant for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, you can tell the wrong people and it may only be one person out of 20 that's saying, no, you're never going to do that. But it always lingers in the back of your head.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, being really careful on who you tell your goals to is super important. And you've been great with it too, man. Like, your visions for shoots or videos or live shows is like, oh, sick. Like, I didn't even realize we could do that. Like, and you're sort of broadening my optimism as well. It's like, yeah, why can't we have a 5 camera setup and do a live stream, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good. I think it sort of works hand in hand. Like, I can push you to try different stuff and you can push me in the same way.
And this is what I was saying to Dave on the last podcast is it's cool to find people like you and like Dave where you're, you know, I shoot for a lot of bands, but that's all I do for most of them is just shoot. Whereas for you guys and for Dave and all my other close friends and stuff like that, it's cool because you guys kind of push me. And I'm like, I can't just do what I do for everyone else.
Yeah.
It's fun being able to go, these guys have got goals. They want to get somewhere. What can I do to just play a little tiny role in you know, pushing it? And
it means a lot, eh? Like, it's a lot when we get people like you, and there's like some bigger bands and Clado and people that sort of just believe in our sound and our vision and sort of our journey and take us under their wing a bit. You know, like, one of my favorite ever bands, Rum Jungle, played this year and we were able to open for them.
yeah, that was a cool show.
And that was because of Clado. He was on the team that was promoting and was like, yeah, I'll get you on.
Yep.
And for us, that was like, holy shit, we've made it.
Yeah,
Like,
yep.
we're playing with Rum Jungle.
Yep.
But, like, those little things, it's like, yeah. I still look at it now and I'm like, I cannot believe we played with them.
Yeah, I know that feeling as well. It's kind of cool because you have these goals and then you hit them and then you get this sense of achievement afterwards where you're like a little bit of disbelief, a little bit of gratitude, and all those sort of emotions all mixed in one. But then you get the that hunger for like, all right, well, that's done now.
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
Yeah, what else can I do with it?
And it's exciting, and especially, you know, for yourself, you are passionate, but for people that are passionate, it's good because it just gives them that drive to push forward.
Cough, cough.
Very coffee today.
Yeah. No, yeah, that drive's important. I mean, I don't know about you, but if you're a photographer or in a band, like, who doesn't want to be playing at 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people, shooting for bands that are traveling the world?
Yeah.
Like, of course, that's the dream. So having like-minded individuals that want to do that too in their sort of fields is amazing.
And I think there's a strong split of like people that have that dream and they will work tirelessly to get to it.
Yeah.
And then there's just people that have that dream.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are definitely people that will work towards it, and you're putting the right steps in. I think there's a lot of people that they've got that dream, but that just isn't enough.
Yeah.
And I don't think they realize, and they probably have to, you know, one day they might realize, or it just might not be. You know, I've met photographers before that ask me, how do you get these big shows? And it's like, I just say yes to every opportunity I can.
Yeah.
and eventually the bigger show will come. Like, this comes first.
Yeah. Well, I think like a lot of it is, I mean, for us, I know that there's weeks where we see lineups that come out or a show that's coming to Perth and there's a band on that lineup instead of us, and we're like, fuck, like we should be there. And it's not like we're not angry at the other band, but it's like, what are we not doing that they're doing?
Yeah.
And I mean, part of it is you, like everybody in the scene. I don't care who you are. We're all making it up. Like we're all making up like what we're doing. So like when we're performing and, you know, I'm saying something during the middle of a set, or, you know, that's me just like testing out the waters and stuff like that. So like, yeah, like I think that's the point I'm trying to get to, is like, don't be so serious.
Yeah.
Like, try everything.
It's a combination of don't be so serious, but also I think what I was saying before was like, if you really do want it, it's got to come first, to the point where it's like, if a good opportunity comes up, but you're like, oh, I can't do this because I have work or something like that. It's like, call a sickie.
I have work.
Yeah. Call a sickie. Or you know, like, because otherwise you're choosing.
Don't you have conjunctivitis tomorrow?
There's like a while ago, I had a friend who was a photographer, and they had some really cool opportunities come their way, and they said no to them because they had uni exams, which is fair enough. But then I'd listen to them complain about not getting bigger opportunities or getting to shoot bigger shows and stuff. And it's like, well, you made your choice.
Yeah,
your
true.
choice was uni, you know, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But it's just got to sort of be a decisive decision of like, this is what I want, so everything's going towards that. Uni's a bit different. You spend a lot of money, but, you know, it's...
Yeah. Like, I think you got to enjoy it for free, and then the money will come. Like, for us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the industry, no one's getting money.
No,
but,
yeah.
Like...
That's definitely a big part of it as well. Like, you've got to...
You got to love it.
You've got to love
it's free.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You've got to be... And I always said that. I think last year I shot most of the shows for nothing, you know. I didn't really charge too many people, and if I did, it was very minimal. But I would always say, and people were like, you could charge money. I'm like, I could. Or I could just do this, realize and sort of reinforce to myself that I'm passionate about this.
Yeah.
And my whole mantra going into it was like, I love this so much, and I want to be successful at this, and money will be a side effect of that success.
Yeah.
Like that's
the payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and whether it comes or not, I'm loving what I'm doing.
Yeah, it sort of doesn't matter because you love it.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I can pay the bills once a week, then that's fine.
You're laughing, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very true. I think. Yeah, back to my point about like seeing lineups come out.
Yep.
That we wish we were on. Like, I think that's great because it sort of fuels us even more. And like, you know, Falls Fest, if you're coming to Perth, get us on. We'd love to play. They're never coming back.
I don't know. I don't think they will. I think we're in a weird time with festivals.
Yeah, I know.
They're all dying.
I know, but the lineups over East look insane.
The lineups over East look very good. The lineups overseas are insane.
Yeah.
That's the wild part.
America.
Europe, America, those lineups are so sick.
Yeah, Europe's insane.
Yeah.
At the moment. Have you got any big things coming up for you? Any projects you're working on that you want to
Not really.
tease?
No. Yeah, no, there's nothing massive coming up. I mean, there's always things. There's bands coming there's so many good bands coming that I want to get onto to shoot. Like Yard Actor here this month, next month. What are we? Still October? Yeah. Yard Actor here in November, which would be cool. Fontaines are coming.
So keen.
Like, there's a lot of good shows coming
Yeah.
early next year, like Feb to March.
Yeah.
January to March, sorry. There's which is good to see because
Since COVID, it's been a bit shocking.
I feel
I think
this year has been nice.
It's been nice.
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's slowly finding its feet again. Like we're still missing out on stuff, but not nearly as much.
Mm.
And there's some cool bands sort of popping off around Australia at the moment. They're coming over and overseas as well, and
Yeah.
that side of things is cool.
So
But yeah, I think my sort of plan for the rest of the year is just focus in on the sort of few bands that I shoot regularly for, and just try and put away as much money as I can over the next few months, and then hit next year with just a new set of goals, because I kind of did everything I'd planned for this year. So it's kind of like,
how good is that though?
yeah.
Because I bet you a few of those goals would have just seemed super impossible, and they were more like long term.
Even this time last year, if you had told me I was even going to attempt half of those goals, I would have just laughed and been like, no way.
Yeah.
So to have like ticked off pretty much all the goals a lot of goals that have sat there for my whole life, to do majority of them in 1 year was insane. So yeah,
that's the beauty of it though, and that's why you should always write down your goals, because you look back, like if you had told me a year ago that would play for like South Summit and
see, that's a cool story. I want you to
like,
tell that story, because that story is cool.
What about
the South Summit story?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, maybe you know it better than I do.
Well, you're the one that showed me the pictures.
The story about how we met and stuff.
Yeah. That was a
pretty cool. Yeah,
that's a cool story.
So me and my brother, like this, we'd just started gigging, and me and my brother went to the Ocean Alley concert in South Summit were opening, and after their set, we walked into the mosh, saw them standing around, and went up and talked to him. And Isaiah, the lead singer, I'm pretty sure that's his first name.
I'm not sure.
Cut that out.
I'll check. You keep telling the story. I'll fact check you.
I'm pretty sure it's Isaiah. We met him in the mosh along with the other boys, and sort of shameless plugged the band. And we're like, yo, we're in a band called Lazy Haze. Get us on a show. We freaking love you boys. And yeah, we kept growing the band, and almost a year on to the day, it was like a week away, we got a text by South Summit saying, hey, can you open for our farewell sort of tour? Not tour, but it was like their fundraiser. Was that right?
Zaya.
Yeah, true.
Zaya. Close.
Sorry, brother. Yeah, so we met Zaya at Ocean Alley, and then a year like past that date, almost to the day, we were opening for them they did sort of a fundraiser to go tour with Cat Empire.
Yep.
And they hit us up and they're like, hey, can you boys open? And this was off the back of selling out our single launch, so we're already on a high from that.
Yeah, cool.
And then we get the text from them asking us to open, and it was like, holy shit. Like, and then so we took a photo backstage as well.
Yep.
Just before my set. And so I got a photo with almost the same date, a year ahead of each other. One was watching them, and then one was backstage playing for them.
Yep.
And like, yeah, that sort of blew me away. And we look up to those boys heaps. Like, they're just about to drop an album. They're killing it. Their style's sick. Like, their videos are dope.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a fanboy for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
no, they are killing it, visually and sonically. Sonically? Is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that story. It's a cool little moment.
Yeah, very special. And those boys probably don't even realize how big it was for us. Like, I don't know how they thought to get us on or whatever, but they, like, that's one of the bigger moments in the band for sure.
Yeah.
Because you can see the whole thing, like from when we met them to that sort of full circle moment of me originally planting the seed of going, hey, I'm in Lazy Haze. And then, just seeing that I don't know how much that meant to them because, you know, they're on their own thing. But for me to have that whole experience was like, holy shit. So we'd love to work with them again. They do have a Record Bite show coming up next year. So
plant that seed again.
Please.
Do a couple.
Get us on, baby. But either way, I'll be there. Yeah.
It's been very cool to watch those, like you were saying before, where you'll play a show and then the next show is sort of bigger. And I think the last few months have been like that for you guys. You've got Expressive supporting Old Mervs, which is cool because it's obviously been a big year for you guys. For being relatively new as well, to have a year like this and to be able to end it the way you're about to end it must be exciting. And then, like we were talking about before, you get to sort of hit next year with a new set of goals.
Yeah. Well, I think for us, like, all of us boys try and get to as many gigs in Perth as we can.
That's and I've noticed that as well, and that's something you guys do really well. Is you're not just in a band and going to your shows and being in a band at your shows. You're in a band going to other people's shows and embracing the community and meeting people and not gloating and being like, hey, I'm in a band, you know, in a cocky, egotistical way, but in a very supportive and confident way. You know, you guys
I'm very proud. So
that's probably
and I think everybody should be. Like there's no reason to not be proud of something you've worked really hard at. Especially if you're passionate about it. There's a time and place for everything. I love telling people I'm in a band, especially at gigs, because, you know, there's other bands there too.
Well, it's networking.
And it's networking. And 90% of our gigs have come from
networking.
Being like, hey, I'm in a band. And, you know, it sort of gobsmacks me a little bit.
And the cool thing about that is, like, you're not just going around and sprouting that. You're talking to other people and they're like, I'm in a band as well. And you're like, what's your band called? And then you'll be at that gig. Their next gig, whenever it is, you'll be there supporting them, which is really cool to see.
Thanks. I love it. Like, I was going to say, like, to see, like, a year or two ago, attending gigs and being like, man, they are so big, and being like, oh my gosh, they're so good, and following them and then meeting them because we're in the same scene and then playing for them. Like, an example is Old Mervs for the end of this year. My first couple of gigs were at theirs. I really loved them. So going there, I think at a gig, I met them backstage. I just walked backstage and I was like, hey boys, gotta plug the band. Like, love you guys, but if you need someone to support, let us know. And then, so you meet them and you follow them for a little bit longer, and then you get an email saying, do you want to play with them? It's like, that's the best feeling ever. Because that first time you see him, you're like, oh, I reckon I could play for them. I reckon we could do it. And that's not a cocky way. That's just like, bring on the challenge. Like, how quickly can we support these boys? And like, we were like that when we went and saw the Ryans at Freo Social. How quickly can we get a gig at Freo Social? And I think it was like a 6-month period, and then we played Tone City last week, and we're like, holy shit, like, that was only 6 months. Like, what are we setting for next 6 months? Like,
it's cool. It's a kind of a manifestation, I guess. Which is very important. You've got to manifest, believe, all that sort of cool hippie shit. It works. It works. One of my favorite lines in the song is it's all about that is
since when did everything get personal? Sorry.
It's a Yardak song, 100% endurance, and he's talking about hippie bullshit. And he says it's hippie bullshit, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that for the first time because I was always kind of a little bit, let's say, spiritual, but I believed in that manifestation and all that sort of stuff. And I'd tell people, and some people are like, no, it's just luck. I'm like, really? No, because I really wanted it and then I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's luck. I think that's manifestation and work.
Yeah.
And yeah, hearing that line, I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You can be spiritual and take the piss out of it.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
And whether it's spiritual or a God that you believe in or whatever, like, my family's religious.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, God's been instrumental in all that.
Yeah.
I think that's our family values, the way we love each other, the way we love others.
Yep.
I love meeting new people. I freaking love
noticed.
it. Like,
I've noticed.
I'll go out of my way to, I mean, in this setting, go meet a band.
Yep.
And then go, okay, how can we help each other?
Yeah.
Do you want to come to a jam? Do you want me to sit in on a jam? Do you want to grab coffee and
Yep.
talk about how we got a gig? Or
You're definitely, you're like a little puppy dog off a leash when we're at gigs. You're just running around talking to...
just sniffing ass. Just kidding.
Oh, dear Devin.
No, but yeah, I do love meeting. And especially because, like, I can sometimes see people are so good, and they don't even believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's me just going backstage and be like, brother, like,
Yeah.
you are so good.
I think people are...
Like,
people
you've got to, like,
weirdly-
believe in yourself, man. Because you
people are
don't, and
weirdly
I do, and
scared
I
of
just
that.
me.
Yeah.
Like-
People are weirdly scared of encouraging other people. They want to.
Yeah.
And they'll say to their friends, that band was sick.
Yeah.
But, like, go and tell them.
Yeah.
Because they'll froth that and they'll take that and that'll just fuel them. And that's an energy for them to keep going and to keep pushing. And
Well, I got to do a little quick plug, but Outfront Band and Nude Harbour, they're two bands I sort of met within a week of each other, and they were both playing their first ever gigs. Nude Harbour are actually at one of my gigs, and then I went to one of theirs, and then Outfront were a Thursday night band, and I went backstage after their shows just to be like, boys, like, how you doing? That was a sick show. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not a pro. I'm not being like, hey, this is what you need to do to be at a point where you want to be.
It's just
it was just me being like,
acknowledging it.
bro, you guys are good.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
Yep.
Is there anything I can do to help? So those boys especially, I go to their jams and muck around with them and write music with them, and those and they're super supportive of my stuff as well.
Yeah.
Which is important. It's not just you're in a bigger band than me, so like I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do. Those boys have sick advice for me. They're at my shows and they're like, the Nude Harbour boys are so funny. Like, Devin, mate, like, probably shouldn't jump around as much on stage. But they're super funny, man. But yeah, those are bands and examples of bands that, like, are super fresh.
Yep.
I love them because they're dope people, and we just get them to hang. We can see that we're about a year ahead in terms of we've been playing for a full year.
Yep.
And like, we want to be that band where people can come up to us and be like, boys, how you doing? And come have a beer with us.
Yep.
If they need some advice, not that I've got any, it's all bad advice. But, you know, if they want to chat and sort of have people to look up to, or, you know, have someone else in the industry that's that tiny little bit
friends in the industry.
Helps a million.
Yeah. I mean,
and I wish we had that.
It's the same as, like, I've got friends who are, when I started photography, they were just strangers that I looked up to photography wise, and 10 years later they're now friends.
Yeah.
And it started like that, where I'd meet them out when we're both shooting a gig and I'd ask a couple questions, and then, you know, you get them on Instagram and send them a couple questions and stuff, and there's a handful of people that were just super supportive when I was starting out. And they're still ahead, which is cool because I always got them to ask questions and
Yeah.
been through the shit that I've been through. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
got
yeah.
the answers instead of me just sitting at home going,
Yeah. And it's not a
do I
hierarchy
do?
thing.
No.
Like, and
No,
that's what I
they've-
feel like some people see it as.
yeah, no.
Like, if
it's-
I go to a band and, you know, ask them if they need help, does that make me look like a dickhead? No. Because you can see in the way that I am, I'm not showboating,
no,
you know? And you're like that in the scene too. Like, yeah, you have people ahead of you that you look up to, but there's guys that have shot for me. Alex Biondo is and has been our photographer for so long. He is the best. Good Times Photography on Instagram.
it's very good.
He's someone that I met and have known for a while now before I met you. We met about 4 years ago. And he is someone that was looking up to you before you guys even knew each other.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
Yeah. So, like, the fact that you're... Did you hear that? But the fact that, you know, like, you're the same. Like, we'll go get beers and then you guys chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a lot longer, but there's no hierarchy. It's just like
Yeah.
a really cool, safe space to,
Yeah.
you know, ask questions. And
Well, it's sick. He's cool dude, and we both love the same shit, so it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun to sit down and talk about.
he's the best, man.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he is great. Yeah, I love the haircut.
Yeah, the Buzzy.
Yeah.
My favorite Italian man. My favorite.
So when's the EP out? Have you got a date yet?
We do have a date, but I've forgotten it. But I think it's like November the 27th. I'll just say the 1st of December.
End of November.
End of November.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming out. It's called Without You.
Yep.
And the EP's literally just a bunch of breakup songs.
Nice.
You know, just
Healthy.
healthy
Therapy,
Yeah.
as you said.
therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And then, so what's coming up gig-wise then? That's...
so we coming up this Saturday. We're playing with the Kick-Ons at the Amplifier.
Amplifier, yep.
Then we've got a gig with Bush Telly,
Yep.
which we are super keen for at Indie Bar. We've got at, for goodness sake, Sophian
Yep.
at the Rosemount.
Cool.
And then we're finishing the year off with Old Mervs
Yeah, perfect.
at the Left Bank on Chrissy Eve. And that's like, for that to be our last gig and the highlight of our year is pretty special.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's it's an exciting end to the year, and it's cool that you're getting a variety of venues as well. You're not just stuck at
Yeah.
one place playing for the same bands.
Mm.
You're kind of getting to play at different places for sort of different
Yeah.
bands, and I can only imagine that will just help with the I've gone brain dead. What's the word?
With the growth.
The growth. The growth.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think for us, like, there are
Exposure.
so many like
Exposure.
iconic venues in Perth
Yes. Yeah.
that you're always attending for events, and you're like, holy shit! Like, imagine playing to a packed out
Yeah.
Metros or a packed out Record Bar. Like,
Well, I get that as well. Like, I think I've mostly shot all the venues in Perth now, but when I hadn't shot them, I would go to gigs and I'd look and I'd be like, oh, I would love to shoot in this place.
have you shot Optus yet
Yeah,
for a gig?
yeah.
Who played that?
Pink.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Sick.
That was fun.
Mm.
That was cool.
Who's your favorite artist you've shot for so far besides us?
It was definitely Blink.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a tragic Blink fan, so that was.
Where are you?
Yeah,
Sorry, that's
that was very.
Blink.
Yeah, Blink's been the number one. That was always the goal. So to have done that was really cool.
Yeah.
I think now it's Metallica are coming next year,
That's right.
so I'm
And
shooting.
that's Optus as well.
Yeah, I'm shooting that.
Sick.
I don't know how, but I am. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick. I'm
Hell yeah.
excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Actually, our shoot we did with Southern River Band when they gave you Am was insane.
That was sick. That was very.
That was
cool.
really
That was one of the goals this year that I got to tick off. I won't say much about it now, but it was, yeah, you know, there was like, I wanted to make a music video this year. I did that. I wanted to shoot Blink. I did that. I wanted to get my foot into the door and shooting bigger shows. I've done that. So I've done RAC Arena a couple times now.
So sick.
And I think the only thing I didn't tick off, but to be honest, I don't think I would have had the time or energy to do it anyway. And I think it's a good goal to just push to next year is tour.
Cool.
And yeah, I think about it now, like this end of this year is just looking hectic events. Like there's so many gigs on, there's so many nightclub events on. Like I'm kind of glad that I'm just going to knuckle down and just not burn myself out, but
Yeah.
I'm going to work hard these next couple months, and just take a rest from hitting goals.
Yeah.
And just kind of knuckle down and focus on the work for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
That's also important for hitting those goals.
yeah,
to
100%. Yeah. You can't just be chasing it constantly.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of energy to be doing all of it. And I'd rather just put all the energy into just work, honing my skills a bit, and sort of start of next year, I'll take a couple weeks off, and then I'll go, all right, what do I want to do this year?
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I've mentioned already that I know I want to do, but I think I'll write another big one.
Come and tour.
Bucket list.
Come and tour with us.
Hurry up and go on tour.
Oh. Well, we want to. That'd be insane.
It'd be fun.
It'd be very fun.
It'd be very fun.
Yeah, touring's
Tiring, but just
tiring
memorable.
touring. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know where
Next year.
but it's gonna be sick. Whether we tour by ourselves, probably we're definitely gonna do a WA tour by ourselves. But it'd be just insane to just get picked up by a band in Australia.
Yeah, and just do a little supporting.
And just do a full tour with a band.
Yep.
And sort of get our feet through there.
Yeah.
Because that's just such a good leapfrog onto
Touring yourself.
touring yourself and making your own brand and
Yep.
being more known. I think that, next year, definitely that's a massive goal to go tour.
Yep.
So,
I think it's possible, man. I think it's seems to be heading that way. And you guys all have, as a group as well, which is really important, you guys all have the same belief.
yeah. Actually, I got to mention Kerwin and Ethan. So Kerwin plays lead.
Yeah.
Like without Kerwin, without any of us really, like it's not Lazy Haze. And like the boys we've got in the band are just the best. Like Kerwin absolutely shreds. He's got a cool head. He keeps me not stressed and he's a bit more relaxed. Ethan is the best musician ever. Shreds on the bass, plays guitar better than any of us. So it makes it 20 million times easier to write songs. Like,
that would be super handy having bands like that have like people that are diverse
yeah,
in their knowledge.
mate. I can barely read notes. Like, I can't read music. I barely know the names of the chords I'm playing. And like to have that is just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I heard you're starting a band, eh?
I don't know. I'm playing my instruments a lot more.
Okay.
I'd say that. But
Cool.
again, the because you know that's always been a goal for me, is to actually play, whether it's in a band or just play on a stage one night or something. Like it'd just be fun. It just looks like fun. Like that's why I
it's so
started
fun.
shooting it, because it looks like so much fun. It's like, well, I can't play my instrument, so I'll just take photos of other people doing it, and it's just as fun for me. But yeah, that's maybe a next year goal
Sick.
if I can.
I'll shoot for you.
I think the it's all right. I'm gonna get Alex.
Yeah. No, I would too.
Yeah, I think that's a next year goal, once I've sort of taken the focus away from cameras. Not taking the focus away, but sort of I think,
Just grind
like I
out
said,
the rest of the year.
yeah, just grind out the rest of the year and just get a bit of a more of a confidence and what's the right word? just have it all become a bit more second nature, so I don't have to think about it as much.
Yeah, true.
But then I'm always going to overthink it. And
That's good. I think every successful person overthinks a bit.
Yeah, and it's not it's just more in a way of like, I'm proud of the work I make, but I always want to, I'm proud of it, but I get bored of it.
Mm.
And I'm like, I want something new now.
Yeah.
Not new, but just better.
Yeah.
Just always trying to improve, and it's not for anyone but myself.
Yeah.
It's just
It's insane.
It's just fun. It's like a fun little puzzle or challenge.
Yeah. We definitely have some big goals for next year. I mean, touring's one of them for sure. But, you know.
Well, we can do another one of these if we're still doing them in a year's time.
Sick.
Play it back and see what we actually did.
See what happens.
We both fail miserably. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, it was good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to shooting the rest of the year with you.
Hell yeah. Appreciate our friendship, man. I love you.
I appreciate it too, mate. Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.